Donald J. Trump is calling for, now listen, you got to listen to this one because this is pretty heavy stuff, and it's common sense, and we have to do it. Remember the poll numbers.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. At least one person is dead, and several are injured tonight after protests and counter-protests
Donald J.
violent
Trump
in
is
Charlottesville,
calling for a
Virginia.
total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
Fear. A human emotion that is used to alert us to danger. Fear is natural in the sense that it's one of the ways that we are protected, but it can be manipulated. In fact, your everyday life is most likely being manipulated by your own fear, and you may not even know it. Anytime you watch the news or read an article online, you are being manipulated into thinking something is much bigger than it is. We hear of all of these horrible things: terrorist attacks, tragedies, poverty, global warming, and much more. We look at them like the world is going to end and we're doomed. Right? Well, maybe not. The world may not be as bad as we think it is. In a book called Factfulness, 10 Reasons Why We're Wrong About the World and Why Things Are Better Than You Think, the authors, Hans Rosling, his son Ola Rosling, and his daughter-in-law Anna Rosling Roland discuss the different ways of so-called factfulness thinking. The book covers different factfulness instincts, or ways of thinking, summed up into sections for better understanding. 3 of these instincts relate closely to this topic: the fear instinct, the urgency instinct, and the size instinct. First, let's start with the fear instinct. As said in the book, factfulness is recognizing when frightening things get our attention and remembering that these things may not be the most risky. Our natural fears of violence, captivity, and contamination make us systematically overestimate these risks. This line gives a great deal of understanding to why the world may not be as bad as it seems. We like to over-exaggerate and make things seem bigger than they really are, which brings me to the next topic, the size instinct. The feeling that something is bigger than it really is. A great recent example of this is Trump's border wall. Trump is telling people that the problem of illegal immigration is so big, and that if something is not done about it, people will be in danger. He is smooching off of people's racial fears and that people of a different race are going to be bad and harmful. He is sizing up a problem that is not that big to make it seem more urgent. Which brings us to the final one, the urgency instinct. The feeling that something is much more urgent than it really is. This instinct goes hand in hand with the size instinct in that they both have the same kind of problem. People tend to overreact and make things seem much worse. This is one of the reasons why you're always told to always think before you act. If you don't know something, don't make assumptions. So from this, what can we gather? Well, if people start thinking in a factfulness kind of way, it may have a bigger impact on our world than we think. If more and more people try to start understanding and helping instead of fearing and pushing things away, more productivity in society will hopefully begin to happen. That is, if we want it to.